Welcome to the demo of Blockchain App Builder, an essential developer tool released as part of Oracle Blockchain Platform offering. Why do we need Blockchain App Builder? In a fast evolving blockchain world, a chain code developer faces three important challenges. For a new chain code developer, writing a chain code from scratch is complex. Deploying and testing of chain code is tedious. And for a new chain code developer, understanding a chain code developed by other developers is time consuming. In other words, chain code maintenance and extension of a chain code is a challenge for a new developer. Blockchain App Builder addresses these three challenges by expediting the chain code development through auto-generation. The app builder makes deployment and testing of chain code faster and enjoyable through interactive and intuitive GUI. And the faster understanding and easy maintenance of chain code is possible since App Builder generates chain code with less number of lines and it follows the coding standards. Blockchain App Builder comes up with two different flavors: easy to use and intuitive GUI based VS Code extension, and lightweight command line interface for CI/CD integration. The major features for both the flavors are listed below. If you'd like to get to know more about the features, you can pause the video to get a hold on these features. Chain code generation, deployment, and testing through App Builder is a 6-step process. I'm going to demo the VS Code extension flavor of Blockchain App Builder. This is the GUI of Blockchain App Builder. The first step of App Builder is about specification file generation. Out of the box, two specification files have been provided: Fabcar and Marbles. You can also create your own specification file just by referring the sample specification files. In the file, you can specify multiple assets. You can specify multiple attributes for each asset. You can also specify the validation logic for each specification file. For example, the Marble specification file contains validation on Marble asset attributes like color and size. The color of the marble can be red, blue, or green, and the size of the marble can be 10, 20, or 30. You can also specify the CRUD methods or any other methods. Please refer the documentation to know more about the different supported methods out of the box. You can also declare any custom methods. For Marble's sample file, two custom methods have been defined. One, execute query for the rich query support, and two, the send marble to player custom method for ownership transfer of marbles. In the second step, you will generate the chain code based on a specification file. You will click on the plus symbol here. With this, it will enable you to create the chain code. During the chain code, you can choose the specification file based on which you'd like to create the chain code. You can also choose the language for which you'd like to create the chain code. App Builder presently supports two languages, one TypeScript and the other is Go. Presently, Marble's sample file is supported for Go. So I will choose Go. I'll specify the Marble as a specification file. And I'll name it as one_marble chain code. I will click on the create to create the chain code. The marble chain code is generated now. Let us see what are the different files the app builder created for the chain code. I expanded the marble chain code. Over here, there are two important files, the controller and the model. Let us click on the controller file. In the controller file, you can see all the different CRUD methods and the other methods along with the custom methods are created over here. You can come and you can update the declaration for any of the custom methods. In the third step, you can modify the generated chain code. You can put the custom method definition and update it in the controller file. I have a specific business logic for my custom method, so I have already written over here. I just copy this custom method and paste it here in the controller file. And after that, I'll just save the controller file. You can also update the asset attribute validations even after the chain code generation. Asset attribute validations defined in the specification file before is captured in the model file after the chain code generation. Let me take you to the model file. In the model file, the asset validator feature substantially reduces the coding effort required for chain code development. The asset attribute validation is just represented in a single line for marble color or the marble size validations. In the fourth step, you can create a new connection for Oracle Blockchain Platform Cloud Service instance. And you can choose the environment while deploying the chain code. Out of the box, the app builder installs a local environment, and you can add n number of Oracle Blockchain Platform Cloud Service instances. The fifth step is about the chain code deployment. You can come in the Deploy tab here, and once you come in the Deploy tab, you can see that where you'd like to deploy the specific chain code. I'd like to deploy it on the OBP environment, so I choose the OBP environment here. And the channel for this is default. And I click on the deploy option. During the deployment, the chain code will first get installed on all the PN nodes, and then the chain code will be instantiated on the channel specified on Oracle Blockchain Platform Cloud Service instance. Once the chain code has been deployed, you can see in the Oracle Blockchain Platform Cloud Service instance that the chain code is now deployed on both the peers, and it's also instantiated on the channel. The sixth step is all about the execution of the chain code. I click on the Execute tab here, and once I click on the Execute tab, you can find that the different functions I can choose to execute it. I can also choose the environment on which I'd like to execute the specific chain code. I've already deployed it on the OBP environment, so choose the OBP environment here. The channel as default, and I can specify the functions which I'd like to execute. App Builder comes up with two different executions of a chain code. One is query and the other is invoke. Let me key in the details for the input parameters related to the create marble. Marble ID is M1, color is red, the size is 10, the owner ID I'll specify as P1. Once I save it, I will click on invoke. And once I click on the invoke, it will be created in the Oracle Blockchain Platform environment in the default channel. So it will show that it is successfully created. I will also do a transfer of ownership of this marble. So I'll send this marble to this marble M1 will be sent to a new player called P2. So I will invoke it again. So now the M1 was initially with P1 player, and now the M1 will be with the player P2. So this is also successful. The marble has been transferred to the new owner. Now I will quickly check the different method or the different function is get marble history by ID. So I will check that for M1, what is the history of that marble ownership transfer. So I'll query it. So once I click on the query, it would show me how it got transacted. So the output is a formatted JSON string. So you can see that the marble M1 was initially with P1 and presently the marble M1 is with P2. So it will give the entire history of it. Blockchain App Builder also supports rich queries. If you want to fetch any on-chain data without creating any function, you can use the rich query. I want to fetch the information from on-chain about the marble which is red. For rich query, we can select the execute query function. I have already written a rich query over here. Let me copy it, and in the parameters list, I will just paste it. I'll save it and click on the query. Once it is executed, you can see that for the query resulted with key M1 and it is owned by P2 and the color of it is red. There are multiple other features. To get more details on the features, you'd definitely like to refer the Blockchain App Builder guide. Explore Blockchain App Builder and make the chain code development, deployment, and testing faster and easier. We are happy to get your feedback and comments about the App Builder.